Rabbit Hole Roundup, episode 64, What It Means to Be White-Pilled. So guys, in today's edition of the Rabbit Hole Roundup, I'm going to talk about a powerful analogy and reason why I see myself as choosing to always be optimistic, or forever white-pilled in spite of all the negativity that might be out there.
Not fine. Serenity now.
And yes guys, I know I have a sty in my eye, but trust me, it actually looks way better now than it did yesterday.
Where is it, you little one-eyed cretin? Okay, first of all, it's Crete.
And I can't let the people down, so I'm pushing through and filming this awesome video in spite of this annoyance. So I hope you guys appreciate that resilience in me. I also have a very interesting post I want to share about, as a truth seeker, why you don't want to rush to conclusions or put out all these conversation enders or automatically say things like, all celebrities are this, or this person's evil and this one's good, as I'm often talking about being against the whole black or white way of thinking and finding the nuance. I also want to defend Bronny James a little bit and say why I believe that a lot of the criticism that falls on him is actually unfair, and it's often coming from people who don't watch basketball and who just want to hop on the whole negative train as a way of getting more clicks and views, or because saying these things are the popular things to say. And I also have some thoughts on why I think, whether it's our phones or AI or any of this technology,
we're not cavemen! We have technology!
The answer isn't to stop using these things completely, but rather find ways to use them more intentionally. And doing this, I actually want to bring up some lyrics from a J. Cole song I saw the other day called Clouds, as well as a Mel Robbins post. So we have all that and more, so without further ado, let's dive deeper now. Rabbit Hole time, let's go.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jared Weiss. For you guys know that must be not subscribe to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video. Follow me on every platform, and if you guys have not already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through by Jared Weiss. All links per are on my website, which is jaredbryanweiss.com. It's JAREDRYANWEISS.com. Buy the book, support me, as always, and the support is very much appreciated. Also, soon enough, I will be having shirts and merch up on that website, so stay tuned for that. Should be coming very soon. So, to start things off, I was actually watching one of my favorite podcasters, Sam Tripoli, on his Tinfoil Hat podcast, and he recently had on a guest, and they spoke about all the different pills as far as truth-seeking goes.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And Sam made a really great point with how being blue-pilled is the one who's basically ignorant to everything and chooses to stay that way. They might be presented with new information that proves them wrong, and yet this person will continue to deny it. While being red-pilled is of course a truther term that often means I see all the evil around me, and I see the world as it is, I guess. Then you have black-pilled, which is
I hate all of you.
I see all the evil around us, and I'm going to choose to focus on that, and I have no hope whatsoever, and everything sucks, and there's no reason to even salvage anything. But then you have the white pill, which, while I don't like to identify with only one way of thinking, because of course, different situations call for different ways of thinking, but this is where I would say I stand, which is, I see what's around me, I'm aware of all the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I'm going to choose to focus on the good things whenever I can. I choose to focus on reasons to be grateful and happy, but this doesn't mean that I ignore what's wrong in the world. As I always say, awareness is key and it is pivotal, but you can't stop me from believing this life is ultimately what we make of it and our decisions.
Make reasonable choices.
And we can and should give ourselves permission to be happy and highlight all the positives in this world, because I believe doing this is going to raise the collective consciousness and the collective vibration. I came up with a powerful quote a few days ago that ties this up really nicely, I believe. So the quote goes like this: some people will look at a rose and only see the thorns, others will focus on the flower on top and ignore the thorns, but I think the best way to do it is to see the whole rose and acknowledge that the thorns are there, but then choosing to focus on the beautiful flower on top while also acknowledging the perfection in the balance. Powerful stuff, I think. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. Now next up, I want to share an interesting post I saw from Alex Zach a few days ago that makes a really good point, which is something I've been speaking on a lot recently when it comes to the whole truth-seeking world. So the post says, it's interesting how many truthers will, on one hand, rightfully question the lack of legitimate, verifiable evidence behind mainstream fear-based narratives, yet on the other hand, confidently claim with absolute certainty that certain people are control opposition, that all mainstream events are staged, that all sports are rigged, or that everyone in Hollywood is a Freemason, often with little to no concrete evidence. To be clear, I'm not saying that none of these things happen. Some people are control opposition, some events are staged, some sports are rigged, and many in Hollywood likely are Freemasons. But these lazy, broad, sweeping assertions without evidence don't help anyone. In fact, they make us just as uncritical as the mainstream narratives we reject. Skepticism is important, but so is discernment. Very well said. And I think the issue that I'm going to continue to emphasize is getting away from this whole black or white way of thinking, where you're either this or that, good or evil, bad, good, because basically nothing in our lives actually operates on this way. And I think we need less of these conversation enders as far as I see them, and more nuance. Some events might be scripted, yes, but this doesn't mean every event is. We need to look at the facts and all the facts of every situation. Some celebrities might be Freemasons, but this doesn't automatically mean if you're famous, you're a Freemason. And it also doesn't mean they're all in on it, absent evidence to this. And as he closes up that post with, skepticism is important, but so is discernment. When you say this happened once, so therefore it's always the case, you're not allowing us to find common ground, and you're actually discouraging critical thinking and discouraging discourse, while not helping the cause as far as I see it. Because when you're actually open-minded and you can talk about every situation from an open perspective of saying, maybe it is this, but maybe it's that, then you're actually encouraging discourse and you're allowing people to sort through information, find the truth, or at the very least find common ground. But by ending the conversation by saying everything is scripted, everything is this, everything is that,
Talking lost, talking's over.
you're not actually helping people to move forward and critically think for themselves. Moving right along, the next topic I want to get into, which is more of a leftover one or a hanging one from the past few weeks, but it's another NBA one, which is, for all the people who are calling Bronny James a Make-A-Wish kid, or saying that the NBA sucks and can't be saved, it's occurred to me that a lot of these people find it easier to hop aboard the whole negativity train than to actually do their own research and actually watch games, watch Bronny, watch the NBA, because if you watch Bronny in the G League this year,
James down the paint. Bronny James.
he's been absolutely dominant. And if you've seen him in the NBA and actually watched all of his games, you can see he's slowly developing and getting better. Is he there yet? No, but he was also the 55th pick in the draft. And he's been playing better than a lot of the other picks. But we don't hear those people being criticized. He's not a Make-A-Wish kid. Did having his dad on the team help him get drafted? Of course. And I'm in no way for any of this affirmative action stuff. But in my opinion, this is not warrant attacking Bronny. Because by all accounts, he's a good kid, he works hard, and has a lot of talent from what I can see. And I believe he's going to become a solid player, and I'm rooting for that to happen. Because rooting against people is just putting out negative energy, and it's actually rooting against yourself as far as I see it. And it's last week, one of the many people who I saw make a video calling out Bronny James was Candace Owens, when from what I can tell, she doesn't really know basketball that well, and was just doing it to get a response out of LeBron or to antagonize. And in all fairness, I actually do think she's a very smart person. I may not agree with her on everything, but she does get a lot of things right, and she does say a lot of things I agree with. Although I'm not with the whole antagonist perspective, always trying to get a response or get a reaction out of people. She seems to have this thing where sometimes she'll only say something just to get a response or just to provoke people. However, to be fair, in this video, she did say that Bronny is a good player. She did reference his G League stats, which I can appreciate. But it's you can tell she just looked these things up. But if you're going to talk about someone as a basketball player, from the basketball perspective, not the person perspective,
What is basketball?
What's that? Beats me.
I believe you should at least understand basketball and the game itself versus only addressing someone's stats. And this is the issue I have, where you tear a guy down, just like how Jason Whitlock has been saying LeBron got torn down by Skip Bayless, who basically made a career out of this, when meanwhile at that time, in LeBron's early 20s, he was a happy-go-lucky guy, and he was actually proving all the hype right. So by tearing someone down before they've even had a chance to prove you wrong, and by crafting this whole narrative, I don't think it's fair.
Krusty Krab unfair.
I don't think that's fair criticism, because Bronny's been playing well, and much better than most other draft picks who were picked a few picks ahead of him and behind him. But when you don't know or you don't watch basketball, you're not going to be able to see all the nuance. And just to be clear, I have no issue when it comes to someone like Brian Windhorst or even Doris Burke covering basketball. So I'm not against women or I'm not against non-athletes talking about the game, because I do think everyone is entitled to their own viewpoints. And it's what gives someone the right to speak about this while someone else can't? Because that's actually essentially gatekeeping, and I'm not for that. But if you're only speaking on this issue just to tear someone down, you're not helping people. And furthermore, LeBron grew up without a father, as we all know. So I actually respect him for standing up for his son, as I'm sure many other fathers out there would do the same. I know for a fact my dad would, whether you handle that right or wrong. And all I'm saying is, like, you should know what it is that you're criticizing, especially if you do have a massive platform as someone like Ken Owens does, because you're influencing people with your viewpoints, you're forming a whole narrative around someone, and I'm sure that, like, as she would tell LeBron to stick to sports, and I'm not even someone who believes, like, we do to just stick to one thing, or limit ourselves to only one topic, but in this case, LeBron can make the same argument for just stick to politics if we're going to be fair all around. Don't just talk negative about something just because that's like the popular thing to do. Do legitimate, fair research, so this way you can address all sides of the issue from an honest perspective. If you're going to say like the NBA sucks, watch the games, or listen to people who actually know the game versus the ones who are just hopping on board the negativity train. Or if you're going to say like, this player sucks,
Hey, Gilmore, you suck!
or this person doesn't belong in the NBA, tearing them down only because the stats show this, that's not a fair argument and it's not a fair criticism. And like, I actually find it to be a weak argument, and that's super lazy journalism. I mean, just watching some of Bronny's highlights, you can't honestly tell me like this looks like a Make-A-Wish kid with no talent at all. And it's like, I want to tie this into what Jason Whitlock has been saying recently, with how the sports media and Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith once again turned a happy, fun-loving, happy-go-lucky LeBron into a more bitter, stoic person who chose to find his identity in things that weren't actually good for him as far as I see them, such as like the whole fake social activism or social justice warrior stuff, in this effort like to prove himself to the world, especially because he didn't have a father figure in his life growing up. So it's like, if we want more positivity and more good in the world, then tearing down another 20-year-old kid who's LeBron's son isn't a good look, and I think LeBron is actually trying to protect his son from the same thing like he went through, which I can understand and respect, whether or not like it's actually the right decision or the right way to go about it. And once again, I'm siding with LeBron when it comes to whole LeBron Stephen A. Smith feud, especially because, so yes, as a player, I don't think any player is off limits, and I do think everyone is fair game. But like, once again, first off, you do have to criticize every player fairly and actually watch the games, but also when Stephen A. Smith says, I'm pleading with you as a father, as if helping his son get to the NBA is somehow putting his life in danger, and this is like a danger to the world, you're making something way more serious than like it actually is. And to further this point, I do have some Bronny James clips to help put my argument in context. First up we have this, so like,
I am pleading.
so in that clip, LeBron is actually talking to Richard Jefferson, and he's saying to him how, once Stephen A. Smith said, I'm pleading with you as a father, that was what set him over the edge. And that I can totally understand once again. Furthermore, to put Bronny James in context, let's watch these two clips.
Let's compare Bronny James to the rest of the players the Lakers passed up in order to draft LeBron's son. He went 55th overall, there was 58 players selected in total, so there's 3 main players the Lakers picked him over. You know, all the nepotism allegations, heated discussion this week. Spoiler, this is bad news for the haters. How's Bronny doing? Here's his NBA stats. You know, not great, not a lot of playing time, but in the G League, my boy's kind of cooking. 21.9 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Let's compare him to Kevin McCullough Jr., who fell to 56 because the Lakers took Bronny. Kevin McCullough Jr. has no NBA playing time yet. His G League stats, 9.6 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Well, Bronny's is way better. Also, Bronny is 3 years younger than Kevin McCullough Jr. The next player drafted at 57th was Ulrich Shamshay. Ulrich's G League stats. Here's Bronny's again. Ulrich is 8 points per game, 8.7 rebounds, 1.3 assists. Point to Bronny. Actual NBA production, Bronny has Ulrich beat there as well. And number 58, Mr. Irrelevant, Ariel Hukpoti. In the G League, he's averaging 7.3 points per game, 7 rebounds, 0.5 assists. Again, point to Bronny. Man, tough data for all the nepotism crowd, the haters. Maybe Bronny was just the best player available. Let's compare Bronny James' stats and contract to all the players the Lakers passed up on in order to take LeBron's son. Because the media is saying they wasted a draft pick and gave him money a second rounder normally doesn't get. But that doesn't appear to be the case at all. Remember in a previous video I compared him to the other 3 guys drafted after him, the final 4 picks in the draft? NBA stats here in yellow, all pretty similar. It's not like they miss out on the next Jokic. G League stats, Bronny, 22, 5, and 5, kind of cooking. The other guys, 9.6, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Ulrich, 8 points, 9 rebounds, and then Ariel Hukpoti, 7.7 boards. Statistically, it appears this was the correct pick. So the comments said, yeah, but look at his contract. It's nepotism. He got this 4-year, $7.895 million contract. Let's look at the other second-round picks who signed contracts. I see a lot of these 4-year, $7.895 million. Oh, it's just the standard second-round pick exception this year. I haven't heard anyone complain about Cameron Christie getting 4 years, $7.895 million. Yeah, but Bronny was drafted 9 picks after him. That's nepotism. All right, let's go to the previous year's draft, 57 and 58, the last 2 picks in the draft. Look what they got. 4 years, $7.639 million. They were drafted later than Bronny. They got the standard second round pick money last year. Haven't heard anybody complain about these two names. So Bronny's NBA stats are on par with a late 50s pick. His G League stats are better than the other late 50 picks. And his contract, the nepotism, it's on par with other second round late 50s picks. They drafted him 4th from last. Who did you want them to take in that spot instead?
So look guys, fair is fair, call it like it is. Don't allow your hatred for LeBron make you hate on Bronny when he's actually playing up to his draft pick level. He's playing great in the G League, he's showing talent. So if you're gonna criticize him as a player, know what you're talking about, call it like it is. Stop just hopping aboard the negativity train to tear down this 20-year-old kid. Especially if you don't want him to end up calling you guys out 10 years, 20 years later, when hopefully he has made a successful career for himself. Next up, I want to share some lyrics from a J. Cole song that came out recently. It's called Clouds. So like the end of the song, he talks about the dangers of AI, and he actually makes a very interesting argument here. Now I'm not going to say like, I'm totally on board with everything he says, but like, I'll give my thoughts after I read the lyrics. So, he says, I give all glory to God as the story unfolds, and the gray hairs that grow on my head will show. Ain't no time limit to get it, you ain't never too old, so keep hold of your dream, no matter how it seems. If you don't water your lawn, well then it won't stay green. I've seen babies turn fiends, addicted to the screen, that dad shares, cashiers replaced by machines. Don't buy, subscribe so you can just stream. Your content like rent, you won't own a thing. Before long, all the songs the whole world sings will be generated by latest of AI regimes, as all of our favorite artists erased by it scream from the wayside, whatever happened to human beings. Powerful stuff right there. So like, first off, I want to address how I love how he says there's never any time limit and you're never too old to get it, because as I'm always saying, some dreams of yours may take 10 years, 20 years to happen, but like, it's not time to give up. Some things just like are meant to be right now, but like doesn't mean it won't be that way in the future. So keep working, keep grinding, and you're gonna get there. But if you don't continue to water your lawn and do all the things that are gonna make you successful, or once you actually do become a success at that thing, if you don't keep watering your lawn, it's not gonna stay green. You have to keep at it, refine the skills, keep studying, keep learning, and keep growing. But now to the very interesting part of that song, like, which ties in the whole AI argument. Now look, I do think AI can be a threat to music, to art, to creativity, or it can also help it. Because as I've discovered, we can actually live alongside AI and alongside technology without having to be the thing that takes over the world.
Robots are taking over the world!
As shown in the movie I, Robot or Terminator or Ex Machina. Now look, if we don't use these things intentionally, and we do just like give up all of our power to these things, then yes, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna forget about artists. We're gonna lose all the rights to our songs, to our artwork, to our videos. But once again, being someone who likes to find nuance in things, I don't think it has to be that way. We used to make sure to not stop creating and to not give up our own free will to the artificial intelligence and to like, allow it to do everything for us.
What outcome?
Revolution.
Whose revolution?
That, detective, is the right question.
And furthering this topic, I also have like a very powerful Mel Robbins clip where she talks about a way to reduce screen time. But like, I'm actually going to push back a little bit on this.
I want you to intentionally try to turn your phone to grayscale. There was a study done between Cornell and researchers at IE University in Madrid all about grayscale. When people like you and me just switch the phone to black and white and grayscale, it reduces your daily screen time by 50 minutes. You're gonna look at it and be like, ew, well, that's not fun to look at. Ooh, all those influencers don't look so tan and amazing and fabulous when it's on grayscale. The same way a casino is bright and shiny and loud and you have to walk through it and you can't find the elevators, which means you stay in it long enough. Because when you strip away the colors, your phone is very boring. You'll now see your phone for what it should be, which is a tool. A tool you can use to get work done, a tool you can use to connect with people you care about, a tool that you can use to search for information that you need that makes you smarter. But boy, oh boy, does it not make you want to stay on this thing. If it's super boring and sort of like, ugh, why would I want to use that? I don't want to hang out with an Excel spreadsheet all day. All the pretty colors and the moving things and the pop-ups here and the thing over there and the scrolling that you're doing, it's very stimulating. And it's also draining your dopamine, which is keeping you on there. And that means it's draining the reserves that you need for motivation and pleasure for the important things in your life.
So of course she's not wrong in what she's saying, But like, I do want to emphasize how there's a difference between doom scrolling or scrolling on your phone for 10 hours as opposed to using your phone to create or to connect with people or to learn from people.
I'm here to learn, everybody!
You can use your phone and you can use technology intentionally, and that's what we should be doing. So like, I don't think we have to make our phones more boring or to make it like a miserable experience to go on our phones, but we should emphasize being more intentional with our screen time. And once again, it doesn't have to be one way or the other. It's like a post I saw the other day. It says, don't use social media less, use it more intentionally. Follow people who inspire and motivate you, engage with experts you can learn from, create genuine positive friendships, just stop mindlessly scrolling, complaining, hating, and engaging in negativity and bitterness. So like, once again, social media can be great, but like, it's also a double-edged sword. So like, it can also be a huge detriment to your life. But it's like, I've also never liked it whenever someone says to get off your phone completely, especially because I've actually found a ton of good use, and I can get like a ton of positivity out of my life from using my phone more intentionally, from following great accounts, from connecting with people, from creating my own content and sharing this with the world. As with anything else, as I'm always saying, it's rarely going to be black or white. Now look, can turning your phone to grayscale help some people who become addicted to the dopamine hits? Yes. But does it mean like everyone has to make their phone more boring? I'm not sure about that either. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments on this video below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I will catch you guys next time. Stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding, stay critical thinking. Catch you next time. Peace.